This is a video using nationwide clips sourced from around the internet to demonstrate how the National Socialist Network used audience and media manipulation strategies to capture a nationwide series of nationalist rallies and turn them into effectively National Socialist rallies. When suburban Shazza fail mum normie Beck Freedom took control of a nascent 31st of August rally which had been gaining a bit of traction on TikTok, she put the events immediately to purpose as a welcoming ground for the National Socialist Network, and it was made clear to them right away.
Now, there were a couple of NSN speakers, members of the National Socialist Network, and look, they were quickly whispered to, keep it on topic, don't mention Hitler, you're sweet. Go ahead.
The NSN set about making their 1,000 to 2,000 supporter base aware that they should rock up in plain patriot clothes, effectively influencing the rest of the crowd with the assistance of varying degrees of the actual membership base, the proper activists, who also helped them by dressing up in plain or flag cape clothing. The NSN is a nationwide chain of active clubs, which is now located in every state. An active club is an autonomous combat and training club for young National Socialist or neo-Nazi men with a political bent and a focus on fighting the left. It's a model founded in the West by a guy called Robert Rundo. Sewell's model is similar, except for the NSN active clubs aren't actually autonomous. They all report to him nationwide for political and strategic purposes. In 2020, the NSN launched with just a couple of state branches. By 2021 or 2022, they'd gone nationwide, and in 2023, they began launching small satellite regional branches. Consequently, to varying degrees, NSN are now everywhere. Therefore, they had the numbers and the coordination to be able to influence 31st of August events at more or less every rally in Australia. I'm trying to present a national picture of this, so let's go through it state by state. Sydney, I would say, was the gold standard for being completely captured by the National Socialist Network. If Melbourne, which we'll get to at the end, was like a crowbar, then Sydney was more like knowing the combination to the safe. You had NSN speakers and other nationalists like Jim Salame, who have disputes with the NSN, were not allowed to speak. You had NSN-led chants, an NSN march, an NSN organisation of the rally itself. Excellent visual metaphor for the whole rally right here. These two fucking bozos here in the middle, so happy to be there. Hi mum, it's me at home, while surrounded by the NSN.
Hello, now. Hello, Australia. Hello.
No way, get fucked, fuck off!
Remember the chants, I guess, because it was the same shit all over the country. Streamer Chris Coveries speaks to a member of the National Socialist Network.
We're here to support anyone that supports what we support. So
Anyone?
Yes.
From all kinds of backgrounds.
Well, if you're anti-immigration, then you're going to be of a certain type of background.
I just spoke with a trans Vietnamese person.
Beginning of the march here, there's Beck Freedom rallying the troops, leading the march. The NSN, that's all the New South Wales chapter of the NSN right there. And there is one of the marshals, Oscar Tuckfield. And you can see here a woman is being booted away because she has an Aboriginal flag. And this is a white supremacist rally, so you're not allowed to have a Aboriginal flag here, of course. Once again, there's the NSN marshal for the NSN rally speaking with Beck Freedom. First speaker, Beck's partner, Jesse Stewart, speaking about the white replacement theory.
It is basically the idea of demographically replacing the founding stock of a host nation under the guise of economic stimulus due to declining birth rates.
Libertarian MP John Ruddock gets up and suggests a 5-year pause on immigration. The chance and the crowd up the front has been stacked by the National Socialist Network members.
We need to have it start with a 5-year pause, see how that goes. Then we need to
Okay.
Now, of course, that's not anti-mass immigration, is it? That's mass deportations advocacy. A member from the Ramsay Centre for Western Civilisation endorses a return to the White Australia policy.
Our forefathers at Federation were crystal clear about why they were federating this nation and for whom they were federating it. It was for those of us who are here today and those we represent, Anglo-European Australians.
Then, in order to hand the mic to the members of the National Socialist Network whilst minimising any trouble they might get in, Jesse Stewart and Beck Freedom instigated an open mic, as they described it, which was then stacked by Jack Eltis, Joel Davis and Scott Gould, all of the NSN.
Indians, Africans, Chinese, all here to exploit our lands. Assimilation was a lie. We must organise to save Australia. Thank you for coming. Blood and honour. We will fight for a white Australia.
India is home for the Indians, Africa is home for the Africans, and Australia is home for Aussies. White Australians, we need a home.
Just so you know, when I see people who did not roll over for the NSN, I'm going to pay them. For example,
Let's go! The rest must go! The rest must go!
No more division, sick of this shit. But at the end of the day, dear people, you men in black go home. But anyways, at the end of the day, you the people.
You've lost us! You've lost us!
White Australians! All Australians! Not just white Australians!
fucking idiot reporter here, as the NSN were on their way out, who should be sacked, starts basically asking them everything they need to be asked to perfectly promote themselves.
Are you racist?
Yeah, we're racist. Yeah, we're racist. Yes.
And why is that a good thing?
We're proud of who we are. We're proud of who we are as white men.
Are you neo-Nazis?
Yes, we're National Socialists, yes.
Should people be concerned?
No, we don't do anything illegal.
Honestly, what is the fucking point of a salaried Australian journalist at this point? Can someone tell me?
It is hard to get past an open mic with Joel Davis on stage. I don't know how to get past that. Like, I don't know how to get past. How do you have an event with Joel Davis on stage and it's not a Joel Davis event? That's it. That's the clip.
How do you think that would reflect on One Nation and the Libertarians?
Huge problem. How do you get beyond that? Beyond Joel Davis on stage?
You get out! You get out! Oh, shit. You're gonna fucking take it!
Come on, we're not here for that. I know he has.
Adelaide can boast of what I would describe as probably one of the best examples of pushback against the NSN there. People reckon, anywhere from a couple of thousand up to a stupid South Australian police estimate of 15,000 at their rally. A couple of hundred anti-fascists, very outnumbered. Now, this guy, Josh, from the NSN, tried to speak, and some people thought that having a Nazi speak at their march was bad. Optics, and they ripped out the audio system cables, apparently. Suddenly, there were like, let him speak chants versus no, don't chants. People start shoving each other, and in the end, the cops flew a drone in and dispersed them all. Speaking of people who didn't put up with the NSN, this bloke is a pandemic-era anti-lockdown guy called Johnny Q. Fuck, he really had a proper go at him. It's good on him.
For what you did, and you're a bunch of fucking weak dogs, because when I came over to you and I fucking confronted all this and I told you straight to your fucking face that you're pieces of shit, you don't speak for fucking all of Australia, and you fucked it for everyone else, you weak dogs. And here's the fucking video that shows that I walked up to all you fucking weak bastards. I'm just gonna fucking tell you, cunt. You don't fucking speak.
Fuck off! Why do you fuck off?
Anyway, there weren't many blokes built like him at these rallies, I can tell you that. Perth had one of the two largest rallies in the country alongside Brisbane, I reckon. This guy was convinced he was walking into Cronulla. He was just abusing everyone who wasn't white on the way in.
What are you doing in our park, in our rally, filming your gay little fucking film clip, cunt? Fuck off! Fuck off. No need. Nah, fuck these little cunts talking shit. Fuck off back to your country, cunt.
As the march unfolded, the National Socialist Network making themselves known. By event's end, their presence loud and clear.
That's the NSN's Perth contingent, led by them, their state leader, so a weird little cunt called Hagan, and Rod Caddies, the One Nation MP, had a real tense exchange with them. He basically didn't want to be involved.
We're not racists here. We love everybody who's an Australian citizen. Everyone that calls this place home. So we're not going to be associated with who the media are trying to label us. They're trying to label you, every one of you, as racist. We're not that.
Rod Caddy's Michael speaker system stops working, so NSN people, like they did in Townsville, we'll get to that later, try to give him their megaphone that has all their stupid fucking runes on it. He's not having a bar of it. His mic still doesn't work. And anyway, to deal with this, NSN start pulling out the same trick you saw them do in Sydney. They've got their pre-packaged chants. They're doing the send them home one again. Here you go. They try to bring him back the runes megaphone, but this time covered up in an Aussie flag to protect his reputation. Still not having a bar of it.
Hey Rod, you're already going to get called a Nazi. Just use the megaphone. You're already going to get called it. They're standing there. Just use the megaphone.
Look at this. This is funny. This guy has very low aura, this Hagen guy, and people fuck with him a bit. Got this sort of like Gareth from The Office getting picked on vibe.
We will not stop. We will not be silenced. Hail Australia! Hail Australia!
I think this is disgusting.
If it's disgusting, go join the left because they hate Australia. We love Australia.
Do you? Why don't you have an Australian flag?
We do. We've got the Union Jack right there.
We
have flags of Australia. We have our red M sign
What's
here.
all this say?
Hey, for all your viewers, you know, when this country federated in 1901, the first...
You see what I mean about low aura, don't you? Ain't gonna be any rikes with you, my dude. Relax.
You are not with us. None of you are with us. You Nazis. We're Australians. You are Nazis. Stop it.
Your race again. And we never gonna see your race again.
Different states, same chants, same tricks, same lines. You're beginning to sense a pattern here, hey? I do not have much on Canberra. There were about 1,500 flogs, I hear. About 250 anti-fascists put together a counter for them. There were speakers including Pauline Hanson and Malcolm Roberts. Nazis freely walking through the anti-fascist protests. There was violence afterwards enacted by those Nazis. I don't know much more about it. And then this cunt on a horse. And I have a real predilection towards that kind of thing. I got a real taste for cunts on horses in protests, you know, since the Braveheart dude that did it with the white horse in Coolangatta during the pandemic. You know, I'm always a very pro-horse since that time. In Hobart, the Nationalist March outsized the anti-fascists, but not by much. 500 for the Nationalists and about 300 for the anti-fascists is what I hear, give or take. Speakers included some cunt called the Australianist, which is a good word. The organiser, a Clarence City councillor called Emma Goyne, more like Emma Groin, am I right? And Lee Hanson, who came out of Pauline. Yeah, she came out of Pauline Hanson's Emma Goyne. And then this cunt, John McGowan.
My name's John McGowan. Some of you know me from Twitter. There's 300 of you voted for me in the last election. There's a lot more of you here now. So I'm hoping I'll do better next time.
This couch potato is, well, look, other nationalists are telling each other that he's the guy who runs or finances the Noticer, which is like, it's like if someone who is a member of the National Socialist Network wanted to pretend to make a news site. And when a lot of the material on there is just like, oh, the man with black skin got found with child sexual abuse material. An Indian man got found with child sexual abuse material. He did not, however, post an article when a National Socialist Network member got charged the other week with possessing alleged child sexual abuse material on their phone. I've just had a look on the Notice website and I didn't see that there. If you could pop an article up just for, balance's sake, mate, thanks.
What do you think about the National Socialist Network? Club coming to their events? What, wasn't one of them a pedo?
Commentary from a comrade who was there. I'd say there were a handful of people there who were angry about policy, healthcare or housing and such, but being more of a conservative ilk, they've jumped to the wrong conclusions. But they were in the minority. Some of the speakers tried to get across the point that we're a diaspora. This was resoundingly booed. They rejected the notion that white people are born of immigration, and the NSN were there really helping G up the ground to reject that notion.
Got one word to say to the Prime Minister. Albo, get We are here supporting Australia today. You're fired!
Nazi pedos, fuck off! Nazi pedos, fuck off! Nazi pedos, fuck off! Nazi pedos, fuck off!
Now look, at this rally, which was the biggest in Australia alongside Perth, there were thousands upon thousands there, I don't know how many. Mostly clandestine National Socialist Network, no NSN speakers, and even some tensions between the bloke who was the organiser and the contingent. So they didn't get to speak here, but they exercised influence over the rally in exactly the same way as they did in the other states. Here's an Indian speaker getting booed off for being Indian.
Just like me, he became a citizen. That's right. So I want to say that yes, I'm a brown man. Yes, I'm an immigrant from India. But I came here for the right reason. They are twisting it.
Here's a little cell of mostly plainclothes NSN led by Victorian number 2, Jacob Hersant. That's right, the Queensland branch of the NSN is so low energy that Jacob Hersant is like a vibe guy for them. Have you ever seen that guy speak? Fucking hell. Anyway, doing the same shit you've already seen several times, the send them home chant, and see what the organiser has to say to them.
Send them home!
Send them home, I get it, right? The media are going to cut that clip, and you all just became Nazis. So let's think about this.
There you go, delighted. Yes, please, make us all sound like Nazis. This is the NSN. All the people around them are plain-clothed NSN, you see. There's a perspective bias at rallies. If I film from my position, whatever my audio captures, sounds like the whole rally's doing it. There was pushback here, definitely, but mostly people just rolled over for the little pushback that they received from that small cell of NSN.
Send them back! 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 Fuck off! We're full! Fuck off! We're full! Fuck off! We're full! Fuck off! We're full! Fuck off! We're full!
Anyway, look, I gave it a bit of a yell.
Why are you standing next to pedophiles? Get dogs! Why are you marching with pedophiles? Pedophiles chasing dogs! Since when did you decide that pedophiles are okay?
Cairns had a few hundred thonged, flag-caked gronks gronking in the park, and a couple of, lone legends had a go at them, and fucking good on them, you know what I mean? Those people need to be, they need someone to have a go at them, to keep them normal, to keep them in their box.
You deliberately come in here, that causes trouble.
Here's members of the Northern Queensland chapter of the National Socialist Network, that they are going by right now. They managed to get someone who's a bit more of a fucking idiot than Rod Caddies from One Nation to hold their stupid room mic for them. Bob Catter.
I can't speak for what's going on in the rest of Australia, but I'm pretty proud of what's going on here in Townsville today.
Coming up is a clip with Nick Demetto from Katter's party talking to a rally goer.
Neo-Nazis in your crowd. Please get rid of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get rid of them.
So we're going to put a broom handle in this one. Who they are, I don't know. But if they behave themselves today and don't do anything to stir anyone up, I've got no dramas and them standing and doing their own thing over there. The Australians I may not support what they may or may not be into, but I believe that every Australian has a right to march today.
Every Australian has a right to march today. But if they get up on the platform and start sprouting white Australian policy,
like I said earlier,
shut them down.
He seems to have changed his tune or learned his lesson after the rally, though. Now he says the Katter Party do not stand for neo-Nazi values, don't have any relationship with the men alluded to. The presence of the neo-Nazi group made myself and the crowd very uneasy. Good on you, mate. All right then. Suppose we've got to talk about Melbourne, don't we?
The goal is to get the Parliament House, to get the speakers and podium set up, and then we're going to run through some of the speakers today, and I'll finish off the speeches at the end of the day.
Yeah, there is the lead organiser of the Melbourne March for Australia, just doing the admin there, Thomas Sewell, leader of the National Socialist Network nationwide. The first people who encountered the National Socialist Network on their way in were anti-fascists who tried to stop them, but they were heavily outnumbered. So that's just for any armchair leftists who found themselves asking the question after the rally, where were the anti-fascists? Where was Antifa? Well, now you know, some of them were out there pretty much being the only people who gave these cunts any grief on the day. Yeah. Where were you? Ordering buttered chicken. After that fight, they got cop escort, looks like here. Into the city, into the march. There you go, look, protecting everyone. Get out of their way. The NSA are coming in. Come on, make way.
Saw the Nazis bust down, and it was crazy. They were hitting people, pushing people.
The Nazis?
Yeah, the Nazis. They're in the middle now, banging their drum, thinking they own the protest.
So the Nazis came in here, and people rejected them?
There were people in the way of the Nazis. The Nazis were using physical force to push them out of the way. The cops did absolutely nothing to stop them.
Let's go check it out, guys. That's what we're here about. In the middle. Let's go.
Fucking Nazi cunts.
Hopefully that made clear that there was a lot of tension and some applause, but also definitely some abuse for this large contingent of NSN as they were headed in. After they were in, the lead organiser of the Melbourne March for Australia, Thomas Sewell, did more housekeeping.
Now, I'll make a small announcement. Our megaphone got broken on the way in. Now, we're going to wait another hour before we conduct the march. We're waiting for the other organisers to come down. When all the other organisers are here, we're going to work together as a team and conduct a march. Once we've done our march, we're then going to set up speakers and a podium, and people from the Freedom Rally will speak, people from all groups and organisations. Anyone that's a true blue Aussie patriot today is going to get a chance to speak on the podium.
As they settled in, the racist abuse and the kicking out of, as they would call it, foreign elements began. After some tension, the NSN kicked out Avi Yemeni and bashed his security guard.
xenophobe, Nazis, the National Socialist Network, the racists. They don't like arguing with you, but they don't like me because I'm brown, and that's what it's about.
Deport, 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 deport. He's our first. Off our streets, stinking cheeks. Off our streets, stinking cheeks. Off our streets.
This is supposed to be about elbows. This is about immigration. Fuck the immigrants. Fuck the politicians.
The NSN led a march to Parliament, barreling through and attacking everyone on the way. Look at this footage that someone in a nearby building captured.
Oh, what the fuck? Are the doors locked? Yeah. Oh my god, I absolutely hate
They are
this
awful.
place.
It's all quite a sight to behold, and I definitely perceive in the wake of it that it has been a wake-up call from Melbourne's left, who haven't taken this seriously for a long time. One thing you learn about these insane nationalist rallies after a while is that, like, you know, over here there's a fucking pogrom going on, and then 5 metres later there's some old chook who's come in from the country with a fucking crocodile and she's singing Land Down Under. It's nuts, man. Check out this legend. She gets absolutely swarmed by these fucking foaming at the mouth maggots, you know. The reason all these big men got so angry at that little woman is because her top said Joel Davis promotes pedophilia and her poster said reduce child grooming Nazis, not immigration. I love her.
Thomas Sowell took the stage, he started talking, a lot of people booed him, and you can now see a lot of people leaving, so hopefully the media captures that to let everyone know that not everybody is a supporter of racism and mass deportations.
I think a really telling way of looking at this problem is through the lens of 2 African Australian kids who happen to be at the rally. When they speak to Ava Yemeni for Rebel News, here's how it goes.
My question is, what do you feel about the crowd here walking around?
I look at everyone one love. Oh, you have to support, the support that Australia has really touches me. I can't lie. It really
Has
does.
anybody here attacked you for your skin colour?
Surprisingly, we had a lot of love everywhere ever since we've been in the crowd.
So these 2 young boys have been co-opted to tell a story about how not racist the rest of the rally is. But when someone like Scobie, the brilliant Scobie from What Still Media, comes along to talk to them about how they feel about the nearby presence of the NSN, you get a very different answer from the same kids.
If you want to be racist, you can be racist, but at the same time, I'm just like worried because
We're trying to go in, you know?
We're trying to go in as well, support everybody, but like it seems like we're the main target, you know?
You're walking past this right now. Did you fear for your safety?
Yes,
obviously.
That's
the chat right now. We're in shambles.
I think we're the only black two in
this whole audience right now. I'll be serious.
In fact, a comrade of mine who had eyes on the rally made a very salient point. They said that there was more members of the NSN there than there was non-white people. And it figures, hey?
They called you racist, they called you dangerous, they called you un-Australian.
Thank you. Our last final speaker for today is Thomas Sowell.
Now, you might not like the guy's favourite colour or his particular opinions of history, but when you're in a fight with people that hate this country, sometimes you have to learn to make friends.
And then, having effectively captured the rally in the cameras, captured a portion of the audience, even if it wasn't all of them, captured the headlines, they went about finishing up a day of the single most political violence I've ever seen one group enact at any one rally ever before in Australia. As they passed by Camp Sovereignty on their way back to where they park all their cars, they attacked women and the elderly for the most part. In fact, it bears mentioning that many of the victims of NSN's physical violence on the day were women. They were a particular target for them. People at a campsite. These are bystanders. These were not people anything to do with the rally. They were just around a campfire and they attacked them brutally. because some of them were Aboriginal and because it's a place of significance to Aboriginal communities. So here's what I think about the day. Starting with the notion that I alluded to earlier of perspective bias, cameras at rallies. I'll hand over to Ava Yemeni for this.
Imagine the mainstream media had a live feed just on the Nazis the whole time. What people would have realised is, why are you not showing us everything we see in the peripheral of your shot? Because there was so much more happening. And we were like walking in and out, following, there was a lot that we couldn't capture because you can't be in 10 places at once. But you got an actual sense of the size of the rally and how insignificant, really, by size, by numbers, the Nazis were, and also how people's reaction to the Nazis were beyond the couple of meters of the Nazis. Because remember, this was a tactic of the Nazis clearly across the country, was to hijack the front of the march. In Melbourne, they managed to fully take over the control of it because there was no one who was like in charge, so it was them. They took control of it. They led this march. They took the stage or whatever, invited themselves on.
Ava Yemeni and Rukshan Fernando are partisan media. Evangelists, independent media for the right. We all know that by now. And I understand that they're always going to be propagandists in the sense that their first response will be, well, Channel 7 misrepresented the old lady in a flag cape and a wheelchair at the back of the rally. She's not a racist. She's an ordinary Aussie. She just didn't like that some young man was on the telly burning a flag. That's as well as may be. But the most notable thing about the March for Australia, as I have demonstrated using these clips nationwide, is that it was captured using the strategies of influencing chants, the march, the tactics, and the speakers, was turned from an often leaderless and definitely aimless and directionless nationalist rage rally into a honed and directed National Socialist rally before the cameras. Whatever the intentions of some of the people up the back were washed away amidst the manipulation of the National Socialist Network. And accusing Channel 7 of not being fair to every single attendee of that rally will not deal with the problem that is ejecting both of these people from their rallies because they're not white. So they're going to have to reflect instead of propagandize, because this is their problem. But I know it's definitely not just their problem. It is our problem too. Respect to everyone who stood by me and stood by the legends in Melbourne and everywhere interstate on those days, but there was not enough of us. And we are going to have to remember the importance of being anti-fascist collectively on the left, and we are going to have to start banding together because our strength lies in our numbers, but not if we continue to be dominated by a crop of useless liberal influencers who tell us to stay at home, expect this problem to be dealt with the very laws that actually allowed them to recruit so many more members in the first place, and to stay at home and order butter chicken as a way of dealing with this issue rather than lending safety in numbers to each other. That's not how anti-fascism works. We need you next time. Don't feel the urge to tell me that you personally have some reason that you cannot attend these rallies. That's fine, and I understand, and I also embrace the value of a diversity of tactics as being what we need to win. But what I'm saying is that for those of you who can come, you should. None of your excuses work. Nobody likes having to stand up against these pricks. It's not a walk in the park. It's not meant to make you feel cool. But we need you nonetheless. Every number changes the dynamic of a rally. Every single person lends more support and strength to us when we're responding to militant National Socialists. If showing up is your thing, show up more. If you're good with your hands, go and get better at them. If you want to do OSINT because you can't get out the house, go get better at that, please. And go work with and talk to more people on the left. Remember, one of the other good things about showing up at rallies is that you meet the like-minded. Let's all work together better. And let's add our numbers to the strength of those around us, please. My other and final thoughts on this, well, listen, not my final thoughts. I'm just trying to keep this to a certain limit. I could go on forever. My final set of thoughts for you right now about this is that this is kind of like 2021 writ large, when the National Socialist Network were on the precipice of reaching a new tier of exposure and success, and then they self-sabotaged by contradicting their own stated goals of being non-violent until a certain goal was reached by going out and being very violent. Back then it happened with Tom Sewell and a group of other nationalists with several incidents. It landed Sewell in jail. After this day of unprecedented National Socialist violence in Melbourne, look where Sewell is right now. It's hardly been a reputational coup outside of the usual white supremacist or National Socialist circles. I've seen soft-sit types go and confront him in a courtroom. I'm watching Avi Yemeni's security guard calling for Nazis to be doxxed online. A petition signed by people, many people, I think it might be near 100,000 now. People of all stripes and persuasions asking for Sewell to be deported. Whatever my feelings are about the notion of calling for deportations, I'm a big old lefty, so I don't really like or sit well with that shit. It is a gauge of the degree of unpopularity of this man and his group right now. Study the history of militant National Socialist groups and you'll see a weird trend of self-sabotage that always seems to appear again and again. I wonder if this is another example of that. It doesn't mean that this fight's over. The NSN's too big to just have Sewell disappear for a while and have that be the end of the issue. There's too many number twos waiting to take his place. We need to be ready. 31st of August, an unprecedented day in the development of militant National Socialism's manipulation of the right, demonstrated that, I think, to all of us. Thanks for supporting me. I'm independent as fuck. If you want to see more content like this, please support me at patreon.com/TomTaniki. I'll see you next time, where you'll be there to back me up, right?